Welcome to this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week. My name is Adam Andrzejewski, and I'm the founder and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com. And you know our mission. It's to post every dime online in real time. And to that end, last year, our auditors filed, incredibly, 47,000 Freedom of Information Act requests. It was the most in American history. And we successfully captured $12 trillion worth of federal, state, and local spending. And we do this so you can follow the money, so you can hold tax and spend decisions. So this week, we're going to delve into the Internal Revenue Service and the alphabet soup of federal agencies purchasing guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment outside of the Department of Defense. So this includes 27 regular law enforcement agencies, 76 rank-and-file paper-pushing traditionally regulatory agencies. These are not agencies that you expect to have guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment. So let's put this in perspective. Over the course of the last 20 years, the size, scope, and power of the federal government has increased substantially. As a matter of fact, today, there are 3 times as many federal law enforcement officers with arrest and firearm authority than there were in 1996. So over the course of the last 27 years, the law enforcement complex outside of the Department of Defense has grown. It's been on steroids. There are now 200,000 federal agents outside, actually more than the number of United States Marines at 186,000. The sheer amount of money to arm up these federal agencies outside of the DoD over the course of the most recent 5-year period is nearly $1 billion. And that includes $110 million that flowed into the 76 rank and file federal agencies that are traditional in nature, in regulatory, or they push papers. And these include agencies like the EPA, like the IRS, even like the healthcare agency, Veterans Affairs. All right, let's get into some of the detail. You're here because you want to know about the IRS. Obviously, Joe Biden's IRS, in conjunction with the Democrat-controlled Congress, they're going to hire 87,000 new auditors. They're going to audit everything. If it moves, they're going to audit it. And they're already hiring more law enforcement officers, men and women with badges and arrest and firearm authority over at the IRS. Why does a tax agency need law enforcement officers? They already employ 2,200 of them. According to our data compiled for a report we issued in January of 2021 called The Militarization of the Federal Agencies, the IRS stuffed 5 million bullets into its gun locker. That's what they had in reserve, in addition to current purchases. I think this year, according to news reports, the IRS has purchased 750,000 rounds of ammunition. The IRS has 4,500 guns. This includes automatic firearms, it includes shotguns, and even AR-15s. So back in the year 2016, in June of 2016, on the editorial page of the Wall Street Journal, our former honorary chairman, the legendary U.S. Senator from Oklahoma, Dr. Tom Coburn, and myself, we wrote a premium placement editorial at the Wall Street Journal entitled, "Why Does the IRS Need Guns?" At the time, we asked the IRS if they had an asset inventory for their gun locker, and they said they didn't keep that record, but they would compile it if it was important to us. In 2020, when the Government Accountability Organization, the GAO, issued their report, the IRS finally had their gun locker, and that's how today we can peer into it. All right, let's go to some of these other rank and file federal agencies that have armed officers, like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. They have 137 special agents, and those special agents are armed with 600 weapons, and they've purchased nearly $1 billion worth of guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment since 2006. Let's go to Health and Human Services. You know, this is an agency dedicated to the social welfare backbone of the country, the social welfare safety net, so to speak. Why do they need 458 special agents? And according to the research we've unearthed, those special agents, and this is pretty troubling, have been trained by military contractors, the same contractors that train U.S. Special Forces. Now, the HHS, Health and Human Services Special Agents, they're armed with a lot of weaponry, 1,300 guns, and they've purchased 4 million rounds of ammunition. Let's talk about the healthcare agency, Veterans Affairs. From its founding after the Civil War to 1996, they had 0 law enforcement officials. Law enforcement, like any hospital, was incumbent upon the state and local authorities, the state and local policing agencies, to quote unquote protect the hospital. Starting in 1996, the VA came up with their own law enforcement agency, and today there's 4,600 of them employed. And they've purchased $26 million of guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment since 2006. So think about this. A sick veteran can't even get in to see a VA doctor on a timely basis, but there's 4,600 special agents guarding the facilities, and they used $26 million worth of equipment. All right, so we've got more federal agents today at 200,000 than we have United States Marines at 186,000. You've got 76 rank and file paper pushing federal agencies that are now armed, that have now staffed up and armed up. So think about that. After grabbing legal power, now these rank and file paper pushing agencies are amassing firepower. And that should be troubling to the American taxpayer. All right, join us back here next week as we delve into and dive into the hottest topics facing the country. Come back here for the next edition of the Ripoff of the Week.